Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. I'm at the bottom of my cup. Thanks for stopping by today to see what I wanted to talk about. It's going to be a really quick one. It's come up a few times as a matchmaker this week. We've been talking about miscommunications and the fact that people are not mind readers. It's also dating advice. And I wrapped it all up with a personal story for clients, and I thought I would share it with you. So, piece of relationship advice, dating advice, that at all interesting to you today? If so, stick around. So it came up in a date feedback conversation this week, and it also came up in a conversation that you and I had last week. And I thought, so many miscommunications based on the fact that sometimes we forget to say something because we assume other people know, and they don't. People are not mind readers, not after a first date or a second date, and not in a relationship. It came up at first with how to let somebody down gently, because the gal was thinking that she didn't want to see him again, but instead she just didn't want to deal with it in the moment. So she gave him her number. And I'm sure he went home because I know he was excited. And I'm sure in his mind he's planning ahead for what they could do for another date. And he's planning how he's going to work her into his schedule in the future to get to know her better. When in fact, she was surprised that he thought they were getting together again. But how would he know? She just went ahead and gave him her number and didn't say, thank you for a nice time. It's not going to be the romantic connection I'm sure we were both hoping for. But it was really great to meet you, and I hope you find somebody as awesome as you are. She didn't say that. And I know that he was really excited about it because I had a feedback call with him as well. And a lot of times these miscommunications happen, because people just aren't forthcoming with what they're thinking, and they assume the other person picked up on body language or their attitude or something like that. And it takes me back because it's also relationship advice too. Very often we do things, well, here's my example. My last relationship, whenever I would get up and go to the kitchen for a snack or something to drink, I would always say, hey babe, you want something while I'm here? Usually he would want something to drink. Whenever he would go to the kitchen and go to the fridge, he'd come back with a soda and never ask. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why doesn't he ask me if I want something? I always do it for him. And eventually I just start keeping track of like how many times he's getting up and never asking me. So finally I say to him, honey, did you ever notice that when I get up and go to the kitchen, I always ask if you want something? He said, yeah. I said, how come you never do that for me? Well, because maybe he wasn't raised like that. Maybe they didn't do that in his family. Maybe his last relationship wasn't one where they were very thoughtful or considerate like that. And she wasn't raised like, who knows? But in the meantime, me counting and not saying anything was doing nothing to solve the problem. He said, oh, I just never thought of it. Do you want something? I'm like, yeah, I'll grab me a Diet Coke while you're there. And subsequently, every time he would go into the kitchen for years to come, he would always, from that point forward, ask me if I wanted anything. I'm going upstairs. You need anything while I'm up here? It was constant. He was always thinking to ask me that. It only took me one time mentioning it and realizing that he was not a mind reader and wasn't going to pick up on this if I didn't say something. So I encourage you to not be like Carey and counting and or being resentful. I wasn't resentful, but I was like, why? People aren't mind readers, and we are women in our 50s. We are at the place where we can communicate our needs. We can communicate our wants. We don't have to have secrets. We don't have to be resentful. We don't have to assume that people should know what's going on up here, because they don't. They just don't. So speak your mind. Tell people what you need, what you want, and be forthcoming and open and all that, because as you know, we don't know what they're thinking. What makes you think they know what we're thinking? And that goes for anybody. That is what I wanted to share with you today. Relationship and or dating advice. Use it as you see fit. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit that ring bell, hit the subscribe button, all that YouTube stuff we do. And I truly appreciate you stopping by today. Until the next time, have a good one.